Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, you guessed it, we're back, and we are looking at another Zoroark VSTAR deck, or Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR. And this time we're playing it with another VSTAR, so like a dual VSTAR deck, kind of like the Arceus one. And this is going to be with Lilligant VSTAR. It might seem kind of like a weird combination, but I actually think the two cards work like really well together, both in like their actual text on the cards and the cards that work with them also can help the other one as well. So like cards help Zoroark can kind of help Lilligant and vice versa. So yeah, we're just gonna look at this list. They both can use the same cards, stuff like that. So let's just jump right in, starting off with 3/3 line of Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR. And I'm not going to talk about this card too much. I feel like if you are like, if you watch PTC to YouTube and are in or on Twitter, you have probably seen what this card does already. So I'll just go over it briefly. 250 damage for each of your Pokemon play that has damage counters on it. And then the VSTAR Power, discard your hand, draw 7, pretty nice. And then the Hisuian Zoroark V, 0 energy, 30 damage. You get to switch it with one of your benched. And then the second attack, 3 colorless, 130, and you can move an energy from that Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So, solid line. Really, really good attack on the VSTAR. But let's get into the other VSTAR in the deck. And that's going to be 2 copies of Hisuian Lilligant VSTAR. And this card, for a grass colorless, does 130 damage. And then also, if you put an energy from the Pokemon into your hand, it will do an extra 100 damage. So you'll do 230 damage if you return an energy to your hand. So some really, really solid damage from the Lilligant. The hardest thing, it's going to be powering up, but we do have a supporter card to help us out, and that's going to be the Gardenia's Vitality. And then the VSTAR on this card, Star Perfume, lets you search your deck for 5 in any combination of grass energy and grass Pokemon and put them in your hand. And this, I think, is the main reason that we're going to be playing the Hisuian Lilligant VSTAR, is just because this can get a lot of Pokemon in your hand all at once. And if you get a Gapejaw Bog, you can just like search some basic grass Pokemon, put the Gapejaw Bog in play, bench all of them, and then you have some damage in play, which is really, really nice. Also, like I just mentioned, the attack, pretty solid. It's a really, really nice option to power up the Lilligant. If you don't have access to a Gapejaw Bog, you can Gardenia to it. And attack with the Lilligant until you manage to find yourself a Gapejaw Bog, so you can really start hitting the big one-hit knockouts on pretty much whatever you're going to want to knock out with the Zoroark VSTAR. So we're having a 2/2 line of the Hisuian Lilligant. The attack on the Hisuian Lilligant V, not too bad either. For free, it's dance. You can draw until you have 6, so really, really solid, just free attack. And then the second attack, not too great, honestly. Double grass colorless, 130. No additional effects, so not too great. Now, the other grass Pokemon we are running, 2 copies of Leafeon V. No VMAX. You could play a VMAX if you want, but we're only really playing the Leafeon V for the Greening Cells ability. That can help you get energy in play turn 1 consistently. If you just Great Ball or Ultra Ball for it, there you go. You got yourself energy. And it's also a basic grass Pokemon you can search out with the Hisuian Lilligant VSTAR's VSTAR Power to bench and take damage from Gapejaw Bog. So you can do more damage with your Zoroark. So really, really good card in this deck. Another one that might seem kind of weird is 1 copy of Hoppip. No Skip Loom or Jumpluff, just a single Hoppip. And the reason is because it has a free retreat. And once again, it's another basic grass Pokemon you can search out with the VSTAR Power, and it can also provide a nice pivot if you need it for like things like the Gardenia's Vitality, which only does work to the bench. You can switch into the Hoppip, play your Gardenias, and then just retreat back into the Pokemon you just attached to. So Hoppip, I think, really, really good. And then 1 copy of the Sparkling Hawlucha, which when it's on your bench, the ability Big Match, as long as Pokemon is on your bench, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's Pokemon VMAX. So just will help you hit more damage with your Zoroark and want to KO some VMAXs as well. We're running a couple support Pokemon, 1 copy of Lumineon V, which is just a really, really good card now. Now that we lose Crobats and we lose the Drizzle Shady Dealings engine, as well as one copy of Kricketune V, which can provide some nice draw support, but it's also another basic grass Pokemon that you can search out with the Lilligant VSTAR Power to bench, take damage from Gapejaw Bog, and do more damage with your Zoroark. So some pretty decent grass Pokemon that are basics that we can play in the deck. Got the Hoppip, the Leafeons, the Kricketune. You can always just search out your second Lilligant V to bench that guy and take some damage as well. Going into supporters, 4 copies of Professor's Research, which does not rotate because it did get a printing in Brilliant Stars. That does keep it in standard format for 2 more years, I believe. And then 4 copies of the Gardenia's Vitality, which is coming on Astral Radiance, I'm pretty sure. And Gardenia's Vitality, you draw 2 cards, and then you get to attach up the 2 Grass Energy cards from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. This can power up your Zoroark without having to use a double Turbo Energy. You can power up your Lilligant to attack with that. It just has some really, really solid uses, and we are going to be running 4 copies of it. We also can guarantee we have some of those Grass Energies in our hand if we use the Lilligant's VSTAR Power to search out Grass Energies, because at least you search your deck for 5 in any combination of Grass Pokemon and Grass Energy. It doesn't have to be only Grass Pokemon. You can search out like maybe a Grass Energy you might need, so you can accelerate maximum energy with the Gardenia's Vitality. We're only a couple more supporters, 2 copies of Boss. Now there are a couple like utility supporters you could play, like you could play Raihan, you could play Charon's Care, you could play Roxanne, maybe Adventurous Discovery, like kind of like I think like the standard Zoroark stuff that I've been putting in decks. You could also play in this deck. We're just gonna go for like straight, consistent. None of these need for like Roxanne, which is dead for like half the game. Stuff like that. Getting into item cards for Ultra Ball and for Great Ball as our search outs. We have no really other great search outs here. VIP Pass, once again, I've said it a lot in my Zoroark videos if you've watched one of those in the past. VIP Pass is not great because they go directly to the bench and not to your hand, and when Pokemon go directly to your bench, they're not going to activate Gapejaw Bog. So if you do happen to have that Gapejaw Bog and VIP Pass in hand turn 1, those Pokemon are not going to get damaged. They're just going to be going onto the bench. So Great Ball, Ultra Ball are the best search cards that we have. But a plus of this deck is we also have our Lilligant to search out some Pokemon if we need to get those, which is nice as well. 4 copies of Damage Pump, which reads move up to 2 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to your other Pokemon in any way that you like. So this is going to allow you to move Pokemon that took damage, or move damage counters that from Pokemon that took damage from the Gapejaw Bog to another Pokemon that maybe didn't take damage from the Gapejaw Bog. Like maybe your starting Pokemon is never going to be taking damage from the Gapejaw Bog, so you can move the damage, one of the damage counters from one Pokemon that took damage to the other Pokemon. Now you have 2 Pokemon with damage counters because the Gapejaw Bog does put 2 damage counters anytime you bench a Pokemon. So yeah, 4 copies of Damage Pump. So again, I think pretty standard in the Hisuian Zoroark decks. 4 copies of Switch. So we want to be able to switch between all our Pokemon, so we can Gardenia to the Pokemon we want to Gardenia to. But that's, we have our Hoppip here to help us in our switching as well. But still, for Switch, we want to be able to maneuver our Pokemon, maybe even prevent some from taking knockouts, like force your opponent to have that boss. And forcing your opponent to have a boss after you're going to be one-shotting almost everything they're going to have with the Zoroark is really, really good. So, Switch is just a really, really powerful card overall, and it has been for a while. 2 Choice Belts, so we can hit those numbers. It does allow our Lilligant to hit 260, which will knock out other Lilligants, maybe some of the weaker V-Stars. Like the Lilligant is one of them. It will help get. It'll also be useful for math on your Zoroark. Stuff like that. Like if you have a Choice Belt and 2 basic energy on a Zoroark, so you're reducing no damage from a double Turbo Energy. You have not all 6 Pokemon. You have 5 Pokemon to play with damage counters. You're going to be hitting 280, which is a knockout on all Pokemon V-Star currently that aren't like adding HP or subtracting damage, stuff like that. So, Choice Belt just a solid card. Stadiums is going to be, of course, you have to play 4 Gapejaw Bog in any Zoroark deck. You just you're not getting away with fewer than 4. You have to be able to find it as soon as possible. We can build our strategy around potentially giving us a little bit more breathing room turns to find the Gapejaw Bog. But ultimately, we really have to find it as soon as we can, preferably turn 2 or turn 1 even. So we can start getting the damage counters flowing, start hitting 1 knockouts with our Zoroarks. Then for our energy, 2 double turbo energy. These are, of course, double colors energy, but they represent double turbo energy, so that should be easy enough to remember there. Obviously, double colors energy is in format, so that should, once again, be easy enough. But yeah, 2 double turbo energy, because double turbo energy is still undoubtedly a good card with Zoroark. It's still a good idea to play 2 or 3 of them, even if you have an alternate method of energy acceleration. 2 copies of double turbo energy or just double turbo energy in general is still a good thing to play. And then rounding out the list with 10 copies of basic grass energy. And this is, of course, important so that we can use our gardenias and have basic energy to attach to our Pokemon. And that's going to be the Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR, Hisuian Lilligant VSTAR deck. Just another Zoroark deck that has some potential. I think a lot of types of Zoroark will have potential because Zoroark is just such a powerful card. Here's just another take at a Zoroark deck. If you guys liked it, don't forget to like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I have a whole load of other Zoroark VSTAR videos either out or in the works, so go check out some of those if you want more Zoroark decks, and of course subscribe if you want to see some more that I upload hopefully in the future. That's going to do it. I'll see you guys in the next one.